Hello, I'm PJ Master Corey Russell, and this video features a game I played in the Oregon State Championship, which is still in progress. It's my favorite game of the tourney, and it features an unusual situation where both me and my opponent queen, and my opponent even queens first, by use an underpromotion to win the game. Let's go see what happened. And my opponent was Carl Hessler, and I was white. So I could play Sicilian, but I wanted more space, and with the C4, C5 English, I'll get a little bit more space. So with this move, he could, if he wanted to, go into reverse Tarash, which I'd be happy with, because that, in part, because I got an extra move. He decided instead to go into a Benoni structure. I was happy to see this move. Yes, I get double pawns, but I do get the bishop pair. It's not just any bishop; it's the bishop around his king. He's going to castle kingside. So here, I was thinking the best for black is either knight e5, which is kind of like Nim's Indian, or even knight b8. Knight b8 is also would be fine. I thought either one should be fine for him, but he instead played here. So yes, I had double pawn, but so does he. So like I said, I was happy to see that. So I did this so you can't do bishop f5 mostly. And it also opens up a bishop so you can't play knight h6 either. Attack the pawn, develop and defend it. He castles. I was happy for that. So bishop builds a tempo, and also important, the rook takes a square for the knight, because he would like to go knight e8, d6, which is a strong knight if you get there. But now his rook's in the way, and so if I can, I want to delay his knight going to d6 as long as I can, because that would be a strong knight. So I want to keep my bishop where it is. I'll play h3. And the reason I didn't use the f pawn because I want to do f4 at some point, most likely. Also, I may want to do queen f3 depending on the situation. So h3. He attacks my pawn. With queen d2, and one idea that queen d2 is that if he plays knight h5 f4, I can win a pawn if my c pawn is protected. Which, in fact, I do immediately, because now my queen is free to move. All right. Fritz says, well, f4 is a strong threat. He develops the rook. This prepares b5, because if I take, he can do c4. Fritz believes I have a clear advantage. That was a good rejoinder. Fritz thinks I should take here, here. And Fritz says I have a clear advantage. Oh, right. That makes sense, actually, because this, and you can't do this, of course, because then his knight would be trapped. So you can't do that. And so after this, here, here, and then here, his queen's trapped. However, I don't think Hessler was planning to play that move. I think he might try something more sharp, like e6. Like king is stuck in the middle. He also had, if I take, he also has queen check also. So I was thinking that's more likely you'd play like this than knight h5. I'd be happy knight h5, but I don't think I didn't think he was going to do that. That's why I didn't play that actually. Let's try this. It sets up the same idea. The threat, of course, if he does a non-move, the threat is to simply take on the queen. But if he ignores the take, I win the knight. We found a good response. He played b5. And apparently I didn't do the most accurate continuation. let's see. Oh no, okay, no, that's fine. This is fine actually. Take c4, play bishop b1, keeps e pawn protected, protects a pawn, and the rook still covers the c pawn. I'll eventually fix the bishop, but for now, it's helpful. Here I realize, wait, I can't take the f pawn. He just goes here, which should be really strong actually. I mean, black might even be better. You know what? Let's skip that. Let's play f5. So now there's no queen check on g3, and of course you can't take because I have the strong check and then mate. So I still have an attack. So I did f5. Here, rook b8 is probably not the best move. You probably should just play knight d7. And then you could play knight c5 because the rook would be protecting c5. Because as it turns out, I covered c5, so you couldn't do it. So that may not have been best. I need to connect my rooks. So I do that now. And here I realized I better open the F line right now, this moment. Otherwise, you could play like rook up, or b6, and then take back, if pawn take, rook take, which would be a strong defender. So like, no, I don't want to do that. So let's take it now. He takes back. I was writing s7. He defends. I don't want my bishop to get trapped, so instead I prevent knight c5 and pressure the a pawn. Of course, I don't play this because he just goes rook h8. So that would be queen move would be silly. So I could grab the a pawn, but I was sure he had compensation. The thing too is I don't want to be grabbing pawns when I get a bishop stuck on the back rank. So I thought it was important to fix my bishop before I try pawn grabbing. Fritz agreed with me on that point. He takes my pawn. I move up h4. This prevents g5. Because see, let's say I do king up. Eventually, you can't do it now, but eventually you can play this, and then endgame wise, this would be beautiful for him because the pawns are locked. You play knight f8, g6, f4, or h4. It'd be huge. So instead, I want to permanently stop g5. And plus, I may want to do h5, pawn g5, queen f5, and try to attack his king at some point. Or may even do g5 too, depending on the situation. So I did h4. And of course, I'm not grabbing the pawn because, again, I'm sure he has compensation just rook a8. So, like, no, I'm not grabbing that. It doesn't help me. So here I had a strong threat. The threat, of course, is if he does a non-move, d6, and then queen f6 is massive. So that was my threat behind rook d1. Here, Fritz says rook h, or rook b8 f8, and I only have a small advantage, which is probably right. Oop, back here. Rook b f8. He did this, and I was happy for that move, because now his rooks are interfered. He's cutting off communication. So now, it's a good time for g5. Because rook f8, and he can't even take, because at the moment, at least, he can't, because his rook is not protected. So here, we probably should do rook f8, although it's still far from clear. And that's actually what I was expecting. He tried this, though. Now I have a strong rejoinder. d6. My point is, knight take, pawn take, bishop c5, and I'm going to win my turn. that's the point of d6. And if pawn take, and of course you can't do queen take because the rook take queen. So you do pawn take. I get my pawn back with the thorn in his side, that pawn f6. And he thought he could blockade it, which he could. I had a plan to break the blockade. So I want to do rook d2, g2, and queen d3. It chose, in this case, I chose rook d2 because that supports a bishop d1, which could be quite helpful also. And plus it covers the second rank, which is also helpful. So here, Fritz says bishop c6 is the right move. Pastor tried an aggressive move, but he needs to consolidate his defenses before he tries this. Here I just ignore him. I do queen g3. And Fritz says I'm winning, and I felt winning during the game because rook g6 is a huge threat. Huge. Let's try this. I threatened the pawn. Only defense is rook over. And then my key idea in this whole situation, bishop h6. And the point of this move is bishop g7, and then I could smash on g6, and then he'd be toasted with that because the f-pawn would be free to move. So bishop g7 is a very powerful threat. We tried this, and then blockade. He's going to have to stay in this blockade for a long time. So I want to do bishop d1, but create bishop e4. And he can even sack the exchange, and with a bishop blockading, that'd be a very strong blockade, actually. But no, I can't give up e4. So protect the pawn. Now I'm threatening bishop d1, h5. Now here you should try queen b6. This wins a pawn, but he gives up his light square bishop. And without the light square bishop, he cannot blockade the light squares. So this is a, Fritz recommends queen b6, and I agree. This is a mistake. This may be even a losing mistake. Because now, bishop h5 is huge. So here, Hester saw a trick to win a pawn. But unfortunately, in this case, it loses the game. So I take his queen, which Fritz gives an exclamation mark, because loses a pawn, but like I said, wins the game. This is check. This is check. He has to capture the queen, so he must take. Pawn. If he does his pawn takes, king d5, and then my king can just infiltrate on the queen side just to mop everything up. So at least knight take stops my king from getting in. Ideally, he would like to put his knight on g6. If you can do that, you can blockade. But he never had an opportunity to do that. I never let him do that. So he's trying the c pawn. I can't give it up, at least not yet. And Fritz, for some reason, thought it was an exclamation mark just to simply defend it. Sometimes you gotta stop your opponent's threats. All right. Knight check. So this is a critical position. Either king d5, pursue the pawns, or king f5 to support my passed pawn. In the end, I chose f5. The reason why is if he were to go here, followed by g6 is devastating. And so basically, by going king f5, his rook and king are immobilized. And so basically, it's black's knight and pawns for my rook. The thing is, my rook can support my pawns and bishop, which is not good news for him. Takes the rook, go all the way to the first rank. It should be noted if he tries this, I can just play here, and then he's just gonna, um. Oh, wait, I don't have. Yeah, do that, and then he's like immobilized, and then I can just go rook b1 and rook b7. So it won't work. It's probably better when you try it though. Rook f1, d5, because now I have a twin threat. Now, of course, if he gets knight d3, rook b7 would be devastating. So I can't allow that because then it has 7. But there's another problem. Rook b8. And the problem is I'm threatening rook f8, mate, right? If he goes here, that'd be mate. Let me just stop it. He's all mobilized. Oh, if he does this, this is devastating because, of course, he can't move the king. I'll eat the rook. But yet there's no way to defend the knight, so that doesn't work either. So he basically has to sack, and it looks like he's a strong threat, right? Because if I go rook here, knight here, and then he can force the queen. However, I realize what the true situation is, and that is to let him queen first. Carl gets a queen. I get a knight, and in this position, it happens to be mate. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and I'll see you guys next time.